Fitting for an investigation about a serial killer. All these murders have whipped this town into a frenzy. Now it all leads here to a gala celebrating a time when Salem found itself swept up in another whirlwind of hysteria.
I'm so sorry. Tomorrow tickets will go on sale to the general public. Tonight is a special features on the event.
The museum must be doing well to turn us away. Maybe there's a way to talk her into it. Got all dressed up for nothing. What's so special in there tonight?
I couldn't get out. The fire was merciless.
Gather round and bear witness to the righteous proceedings of a trial of a most heinous nature. Now you, good woman Putnam, you stand accused of the murder of 7 of your own children, whom you claim were taken by forces of the devil.
This freak show better give me some answers.
I did not do it. My devil spawn of a child is my own accuser.
Confess to bearing the spawn of the devil?
I did only mean it as a term of anger, that my own daughter would thus accuse me in my grief.
And young Ruth Putnam, your own daughter, has testified to this court that you did take from her a puppet. And she began to have pains of the belly, and bled most woefully from her nether parts for 5 days. Was or was not the puppet used to inflict this suffering?
It was not. I have engaged in no witchcraft.
Yet she did find the puppet, folded in half at the belly, thus proving her demonic curse upon her. Mary Warren is a witness to the same, as the girls played with it in the bedchamber.
The poppet was folded in half. It proves nothing.
Goody Putnam, do you confess your guilt at inflicting harm of a demonic nature upon your only surviving daughter?
I do not confess it.
And do you confess to the demonic contract that took the lives of her other 7 children?
I neither confess that.
Confess now, good woman Putnam! Confess, and ease your soul of your most foul crimes!
I would dangle from up on high, then confess to crimes for which I am innocent.
Would a Puritan really say that? Maybe make my voice deeper.
This play's hilarious, but nobody gets it.
I guess it's true.
I can't imagine what it would be like to have my own child turn on me.
Blows my mind that this really happened. Not just in a play, but in the lives of real people.
Yeah. Seems like just about anything can get you accused of witchcraft.
God, women had a raw deal.
Upon us, Abigail Williams!
No!
You scourge of Salem, it is time to pay for your sin!
So it wasn't really
those heavy stones on their chests.
Did you see all those police lights?
So it wasn't just witchcraft that would get you in here. It was all kinds of things.
You could get dunked for gossiping?
Wow. I mean, gossiping is destructive and all, but that's harsh.
Wonder how
The
long
train was so loaded down with ammunition, like
Long
we were a
enough to
rolling
be
bomb.
mighty uncomfortable, I suppose.
Plus,
The train was so
everyone was
loaded
staring
down
while
with
it happened.
ammunition, like we were a rolling
Yeah.
bomb.
Talk about public humiliation. It must have been like the pillory, but also... nearly drowning.
Confess, witch. Confess. Your covenant. A demonic contract with the dark forces.
it's not as bad as some of the things in here, but wouldn't it be awful?
Being locked up in one of these things all day? I mean, just the physical discomfort.
Exactly. What if you had an itch?
Shit, people constantly mocking you? I don't think I could take it.
I wish people could read the sign. Stay polite.
The Bell killer used torture devices like this to kill his victims. Why kill them like witches?
I'm surprised there's no exhibit for the accusers. It's such an important part of Salem's history.
Actually, several artifacts aren't on display yet. We're currently preparing them upstairs in the restoration room.
Better see what else is in here.
always wanted to be a real cop. A whole exhibit about death.
Joy? I told you to look after Iris.
You're not the boss of me.
I found a bunch of stuff downstairs. The Bell Killer is offing his victims as if they're witches. I'm heading upstairs to see what else I can find. I should have told you to follow me, and then maybe you would have stayed at the church. Just keep an eye out for security cameras and alarms.
Thanks for the tip, but this isn't even my first break-in today.
Yeah, this looks like the right place. Now let's see what these artifacts can tell me about the witch trials.
Puts me in touch with odd sensations centuries old. I'm trying to focus on this killer, but the echoes from these sensations keep interfering, like deaths from the past, pleading to be remembered.
kid, I need you to lift up this painting.
It's called The Hanged Witch. It's creepy. Oh.
It's the killer's symbol.
My husband and I stepped off the platform and onto the giant hissing locomotive. I remember looking back at our small town and thinking of all the happy memories we made there. But I was excited to start our new life in Salem. I must have dozed off because I was startled awake by the sound of screeching metal. And as the train came to a halt, all I could hear was the torrential rain pelting against the roof. I looked out the window. There was only darkness. Then came the brightest flash of lightning I had ever seen. When my husband left to inquire about the delay, a woman in the back of the train started screaming. We rushed over to her and asked her what was wrong. But all she could manage to say through her sobs was something about seeing the spirits of the dead wandering in the rain. Stranger still were the passengers that were suddenly stricken with the painful memories of their past. It was at this point that I became truly terrified, so I set out to find Joe. When I reached the cab and still hadn't found him, I was worried. I looked out the front window and saw the train's conductor laboring to move a downed tree from the tracks. And there was Joe, walking up to help. However, instead of grabbing hold of the tree, Joe bent down, picked up a rock, and crushed the conductor's skull with it. When I left the train and ran up to him, I could see that this wasn't the Joe I once knew. Something had taken hold of him, something angry. Then he saw something that terrified him. He dropped the rock and ran off into the woods. However, right before he disappeared into the trees, during a bright flash of lightning, I thought I saw something chasing him, hunting him. I can only describe it as a ghostly specter, cloaked in black. But more likely than not, it was just a shadow. The authorities spent days combing the woods for Joe, but he never turned up. I tried to go back home, but the memories were too painful. Some nights I lie in bed, tortured by the thoughts of what our life could have been if we had never stepped onto that train.
House of Justice, or merely of judgment?
You need my help or something?
It will always belong to you.
For shame, Bridget. This charade of your conversations with the spirit world will surely condemn you as a witch.
targeting mediums because he thinks they're witches? That's insane. Who do I know that's interested in mediums? Baxter. Is Baxter involved in this? He dropped the case when he was demoted. All right, found the killer's symbol. We got a suspect to look into. We're almost there.
And not one step closer to finding my mom.
Like I said, the world doesn't need another whiner.
You know what? Screw you. You don't understand.
Don't understand? My wife was murdered 3 years ago. She got to float up into the white light, and I got stuck here in this place with some bitchy teen.
Ugh.
Your mom's been missing what? 2, 3 days? Huh? And I guarantee you we'll find her. If I fail, if we fail, I'll never get to see Julia again. Ever.
We won't fail.
I don't need a cheerleader.
Look, I'm sorry. I didn't know about your wife.
Yeah. Look, we need to act on the information we found. You head off to the church.
The church? Where are you going?
Baxter's our prime suspect. I need to get over to his apartment and see if I can dig up any skeletons. Probably not a good idea for a fugitive to visit a cop.
Fine, I'll meet you later.
I just got a text. Did you hear something else happen just now? Something bad.
Someone told me about a murder.
No, like this just happened. Police are all freaking out.
What happened?
I don't know. Sounds serious, though.
I just said? Something horrible just happened at St. Benedict's.
The church? What is going on in this town tonight?
It must be true. I think I hear sirens.
Don't know why we're here.
Why the hurry, boys? Where you headed? Oh, no.